Great day, everyone. I'm Nicole, and I am starting a not a vlog per se, but just a visual recap of my current fitness journey. Today is November 1st, 2025, and Monday will start, it's a Saturday. Monday will start the third week in my 9-week challenge. And so I have been posting a little bit on my Instagram, some reels of me like doing my different exercises. But I thought this would be a better opportunity for me to give more context and content into what I'm doing. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Nicole. I currently reside in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I have been up and down with weight, mostly up, for pretty much my entire life. I've done a lot of different things to help me lose the weight with some success, but not with any longevity to it. And so, I am 40 plus now, and, my kids are pretty active, and I want to be able to get out, be active with them. I love to travel, and I notice how traveling to certain states and certain countries can be very strenuous on the body. And so I want to get my body in a good condition to really get out into nature with my kids and enjoy all the traveling that I do. And so I've been seeing 75 Hard posted a lot. I looked at that, and I thought maybe that was just a bit too much for me from the gate. Because one of the things that I have been learning over time through all of these things that I've tried in the past is that when I come in 100 miles an hour from zero, I never last. I injure myself, or I just get too much tightness and tenderness, and then next thing I know, I'm back on the couch a week later, 2 weeks later. Also, when you do too much like strenuous eating and things like that, a really strict diet, that's hard to maintain as well. So this time around, I've created my little own situation. I know they also has like the 75, like medium and soft, but none of those really seem like they fit for me. So at the time when I started, I was getting a lot of nine just around me. Just seeing nine, feeling nine. The number nine, which is considered a divine number. And so I decided just to lean into that. So my challenge is for 9 weeks, which is equivalent to 63 days, and 6 plus 3 is 9. And so there are a lot of similarities. So I will be working out 30 minutes a day within that 9 weeks. I would like to add in a 15-minute walk, which I have not done consistently for these first 3 weeks. So I will see if I can add it in consistently for the following 6 weeks. So a 15-minute walk each day, 30-minute exercise each day, following a meal plan. And I did see some success before when I did the whole 30, because I'm really trying to identify some food sensitivities. And I think I will start so today's November 1st, there's 30 days in November. Today I'm going to start the whole 30 again to really be more intentional with when I do the reintroduction phase, understanding how these foods impact my body. And so when I did a whole 30, I did it September of last year, 2024. And people asked me, like, well, how do you feel? How do you feel? And I was like, well, fine, I guess. I feel the same. I didn't really notice any changes. And so after the reintroduction phase, and I started just going back to some kind of like regular eating, I started feeling not great. So I noticed like feeling kind of lethargic and always feeling like bloated and things like that. So after, I noticed that there were some changes, but it was like after I had already gone back to regular eating. So I didn't reintroduce in the way that you're supposed to identify which foods make you feel which ways. So I will be doing that for the month of November. Um, there is going to be a reading component. Now, I do a lot of reading anyway, and I put that in air quotes because I used to read a lot of books, and now I'm audiobooks. And I'm almost 99% audiobooks at this point. It really helps me get through more material because I can listen in the car for my commute to and from work. If I'm having a day that's kind of like hyper focused, I do a lot of work in spreadsheets and things like that. I can listen to it in the background. And so for this, I will be doing my normal listening, which is not anything profound, a lot of like fantasy fiction and things of that nature. So that's just my normal entertainment listening. But then I also thought that I would incorporate a little bit of reading as well. And so let me be honest. It's only reading because the book wasn't available on audio at the library. So I will be doing The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. I don't know if you can see that. But that's one of the books I chose. I actually have a list of some other books um, that I have on my list to read. The 5 a.m. Club. I'm actually listening to that on audio right now. I want to revisit the book Essentialism. I did that one. I don't know if that was earlier this year or last year, but there was some really good nuggets from that, and I just want to go back and revisit that. I also want to revisit Atomic Habits, so I'll be revisiting that. And I've heard some good things about the 12-week year, and so I want to listen to that. So those are some of the ones that I will be engaging on. Now I'm not going to get to all of those within the 9 weeks, but those are just some books that I'm working on, and so I'm listening to one now, reading one now. I should be able to finish those two within the time frame. So some of the things that I've learned over the past 3 weeks that I think are going to help me going forward is prep. Right, prep is, when we talk about meal prep, that really sets you up for success. I haven't been doing a lot of meal prep, and then I see myself coming out of eating healthy. I ended up eating McDonald's last night at 10 p.m. after we went trick or treating. So the preparation that I need to do, I'm going to do two. It's going to be meal prep and exercise prep. So as you can see, I'm in my little homemade gym area. And there were some days within the past 3 weeks where I just came in here and was like, what am I going to do? I know, especially in the times when you don't feel like doing anything, it's too easy to be like, oh, I don't know what to do. I'll just go sit down somewhere. So in this case, I have created a schedule of what exercises I'm going to do every day. So that way, when it's time to go do it, I don't have to think about what I'm doing. Boom, I know exactly what it is based off today. So for that, I have decided Mondays are going to be the days I go swimming. And so I have a membership at my local recreation center that has a pool. I will go to the pool Mondays. Tuesdays, I will be taking a class at the gym at my office. It's called Strength and Power. You've seen some of those videos. It's a circuit type training, 3 phases. And usually it's 2 exercises in the first phase, 2 sets each, 3 exercises in the second phase, 3 sets each, and then 3 exercises in the third phase, also 3 sets each. So I will do those on Tuesday. Wednesday, I'll be in my home gym, and I'm going to do the cycling. So that's my little cycle bike back there. Thursday, there's another class at work, which is essentially like a HIIT type class. And so you've seen a few videos of that. And so that changes up a little bit, but typically it's also in like 2 or 3 phases with a couple sets within each phase. So I'll do that on Thursdays. By Fridays, I am beat down. Mentally, physically, I don't really want to do a lot or do much. So that's going to be a light day where I will do some Pilates in my room. I have a mat here, I have a Pilates bar, and I have a TV here where I pull up videos on YouTube to help with both the cycling and the Pilates. Saturdays and Sundays, I think, are going to be a little bit more flexible in the schedule. So for example, last weekend, I took my kids hiking, and so we went hiking, and that was my activity for that day. And so I think I'll do some more of that on the weekends. So things like hiking, running. I have a walking pad, so I can do walking pad or walking outside. So that'll be more, I guess, cardio based, or maybe even, I don't know what you would call it, but maybe like instead of, like for example, instead of running sprints, I would do distance. So that's going to be Saturday and Sunday. Saturday or Sunday, I have to, it has to gauge based off of what's happening that weekend. And then the other day, I think is also going to be kind of light. And so that might just be like an active recovery, some stretches, or maybe a true rest day. I'm still working on that. I think once I go through this full week, having done all these activities, I'll be able to better gauge, do I need to like rest or active rest? So if you have any active recovery suggestions, feel free to drop those in the comments so that way I can take that into consideration as I'm moving forward. One of the things that I did decide to do, well, I guess actually two, is I've done several races before, 5Ks and a couple half marathons, but always either walking or intervals. So walk, run, walk, run. I've never run a full race. So one of the things that I want to do is actually run a 5K. So that'll be one of the things that I'm working on when I'm working on the running, is getting better at running instead of walking. So within my 15-minute walk, I will probably start some intervals there. I have the Couch to 5K app, which will help me start building up my endurance for some running. So that's one of my goals. The other goal is I always wanted to do a sprint triathlon. And so, for those who don't know, the triathlon is swimming, biking, and running. And the sprint version varies. I've seen a couple different things just based off of who's hosting it and what their facilities can accommodate. And so there is a organization called She Tries, and I see that they have a like kind of Huntersville group or a set of events. And there is one for next year already posted. And so that one's 250 yards. It's in the pool, which I think is a great introduction for triathlon for me, because one of the things I was a little bit nervous about is swimming in open water, because it's something that I don't typically do. I don't really have the access for open water swimming. And those that know, I used to live in Florida for several years, and like I'm terrified of alligators. Okay, so I try to kind of stay out of open water as much as I can. So I like that this is a pool-based swim, and the way that they have it is each lane, right? Instead of doing kind of laps in the lane, you go up one lane and come down the other. And so it's a 25 yard swimming pool, and then you're going to have 10 lanes, so 250 yard swim. And so that gives me a great starting point to really get good at swimming 250 yards. If you've seen any of my swimming videos, I usually just speed them up so you can kind of see that I went swimming, not really showing you how I did. But I need to work on the breathing part. So the pool I go to is also 25 yards. I can go down fine. I'm pretty much winded when I get to the end. So if I come back immediately by the halfway mark, I'm like really looking for air. So that's only going to be 40 yards. So I have a long way to go to be able to find the right breathing pattern, get used to holding my breath more, and finding out like what breathing pattern is going to work best for me to be able to make the whole 10 lanes. So that's going to be what I'm working on when I do my swimming on Mondays. That race also has a bike ride that I think is about 8 or 9 miles. I don't remember directly. And the running portion of that, I believe, is a 5K. So I think that's a good starting point. It is a little bit later in the year. So I think as I'm working on these things, if I find that I'm already capable of reaching that, maybe I'll look for a triathlon in another city that I can practice that in. But as far as an introductory distances and location, that's the best one. But it is all the way in September. So we'll just see how it goes. I don't want to push it out so much that I really kind of slow down my progress, but I also don't want to bring it too close where I'm totally unprepared and I drown. Right? Okay. So, all right. So those are a few things. That's an introduction to what I will be doing over my 9-week journey. The good thing about this is I want to make it repeatable. So this 9 weeks will get me until middle of December, which then I will be going on a family vacation, which is I feel like I can definitely bring over some of those habits in vacation instead of a full stop period, because that's what I've done in the past. And then also just restart again after that with a new set of 9 weeks. So I was going to bring you guys on this journey. You can see a weekly post about what I've captured this week. This will be the introductory post, and then you'll see next week just some review of what happened over the week. So thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you stopping by and following me along with this. I'm really excited to, lose the weight for the last time, right? And then just maintain these healthy habits, teach these healthy habits to my kids so that they're not like me later in life struggling with activity and weight. I get pain in my body because of that. And so I really just want to change the trajectory of their lives by teaching them while they're still young. So you can follow me at my hashtags NickTries, NICTRIS for my triathlon training, and also hashtag Nicole Tahare, which is my handle on most social media, and also hashtag Gracefully Authentic, which is the name of this channel. All right, and I am so excited to have you follow along, and I'll see you next time. My millennial peace sign. Bye.